So, does anyone know what the benefits of utilizing tractor and implements? Anything?
It makes work easy.
Okay, great. Okay. That one, we'll come back to that one. That one is true, but there's other factors that have to be brought into that. But yes, let's go. Anyone else? Perfect, okay. Well, this one specific hardband, but machinery in general, but that's right, yes, okay.
There's also uniformity.
Uniformity, perfect,
Control of pace and
perfect. It can be. Reduces. Now that goes along with what she's saying, and then we'll get to that one because that's one of the points that I want to stress when you get into mechanization. Anyone else?
Precision.
Precision, that's perfect, yeah, that's good.
Reduces contamination.
Potentially, that's potential, because there is also potential for contamination with implements, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But the one thing when we talk about reduces cost, now that one is something, but it has to be based on the amount of work that it's going to be doing. And then that also has to be based on the implements that you buy. So what I mean by that is that if you're going out and you have 5 acres of land that you're going to be utilizing your implements on, and you say, oh, I want to go and buy a 125 horsepower tractor. Now, does everyone think that that would be a smart idea to go out and buy a 125 horsepower tractor in order to do 5 acres of land?
No.
Why?
It is costly.
Well, first off, the tractor is very costly. And then what else?
Consumption.
The fuel consumption is very much to be able to do that. So that's one of the factors that you have to evaluate. What work is this tractor going to be doing? And then you can start to look for the tractor that meets the work that you want to be doing. So then if you're not smart and you go out and buy a huge tractor that is doing way too much fuel consumption for the work that you need to do on your 5, then you don't get that reduction of cost. So then you're essentially going to be increasing your cost. Now, when we start going to implements, now this one is a chisel plow. Now, how many tines do we see that's on here? 7. Now, if you have 1 acre of land and you have a 7-tine chisel, do you think it makes sense to use such a big implement? No. This is going to be more cost of production. So you have to see, you have to match now what you want to do to buying your tractor. Then when you buy your tractor, you then also got to match what your tractor can do to the size of the implements that you can get. Because if you buy a 75 horsepower tractor and you try to pull a 7-tine chisel, well, first off, it's not going to be effective because that one's going to be so stressing to your tractor that maybe you use that tractor for 1 season, you might be able to get through it, if sometimes not even 1 season, and then you're going to continue to get breakdowns. Then your cost is going to continue to go up, and you're going to get frustrated with that tractor, and you're going to throw it away and go back to casual labor. So in order to get all those benefits that you're talking about, you need to do your research, and you need to do good planning to make sure that you're matching your tractors to what the work you want to do. Then you're matching your tractor to the implements that fit that tractor. So that's really important in your planning. You know, if you're going to become an agent, that becomes the work of Hello Tractor. But if you want to start venturing into getting your own tractors, doing some of that own work on yourself, you know, or even becoming an operator of Hello Tractor, then all that has to make sense for you. Because if you're using way too much fuel and stressing that tractor to pull a big implement that doesn't make sense, then even working as a tractor driver or offering your tractor for services, you won't make money. So that's a really important thing to understand about tractors and implements. The the other thing is with tractors is your service. So if you don't service your tractor, then it's going to quickly go down. Then it's going to quickly become a money pit. Did I hear that, Joshua, that you also got a tractor through this program?
Yeah.
What's the important things you have to do to your tractor to make sure it stays healthy and continues to run?
I use the right implements, right size of implements. I do daily checks for services.
Right.
Then I don't overload it to do all that is not supposed to.
That's right. And service can come in different ways. If you're changing your oil when that needs to be changed, you know, because that's what keeps your engine healthy. It's about keeping your filters clean, you know, because your engines need air in order to run efficiently. So there's a lot of things that have to come with a tractor in order to make it run efficiently, to be able to run for a long time for you to be able to get the right service. So that was just a brief that I wanted to do about tractors and implements. But now we go to this implement here. So we said this was a chisel plow. What does anyone know about a chisel plow?
Yes.
Yes. What do you know about it?
It creates the hard part.
Okay. Okay, that's right. Good. Okay.
To loosen the,
Increases the soil infiltration.
Good.
to loosen the soil, but it doesn't expose.
Perfect. Okay. Anyone over here? I heard something.
Improving minimum tillage.
Perfect. What's minimum tillage? I know that's a big, and I'm not picking on you. I know that's everyone likes to say minimum till. Well, what does minimum till mean to everyone when you say minimum till?
Less disturbance of the
Okay, that's great. But what does less disturbance do to your soil?
Conservation agriculture.
Well, that's another term. That's just a term. But what's the real meaning of that? Minimal disturbance of your soil. What is the real meaning behind that? Why is it beneficial for us?
Don't expose the soil to the sun.
Exactly. So then what does the
climate smart
profile, that's good. So what is the benefit of keeping the structure of your soil? Huh? So everything you guys are saying is perfectly right. We're just trying to drill down because you need to know that knowledge. If a farmer comes to you and says, what the heck do I need to keep my structure, my soil healthy for? Why? You're like, I don't know. That's what they told me. Is that the answer you think they're going to want to hear?
We maintain them.
climate smart way of way.
That's true too, but it's not the real answer. Go ahead.
We maintain the moisture.
That's one of the benefits of keeping the structure. What's another benefit of keeping the structure? That's another one. Okay, that's great. What's another one? That's perfect. That's a great one. And what do those organisms do in your soil?
Composition.
Decompose.
Yeah, the composition of organic matters.
Yes, exactly. So that's when, you know, everyone likes to use those buzzwords or minimum till. But then when you want to be able to have that background to be able to explain what are all those benefits. Because if you have all of this organic matter that's in your soil, but you don't have those microorganisms to break those things down and be able to replenish that nutrients back in the soil, then you're not doing anything. So that's why we like to use minimum till.
There was another
Go ahead.
good aspect because as you can see this chisel, there is a gap that will be planted. Maybe it is wheat or potato. We shall till this space. This space will be left untilled. This one, another one will be left untilled. So next round, I think the chisel will shift to another part. Nafikiri next round ukitumia hapa kuna kanyama kanaachwa hapa, mimi naona kuna sense. Hata hii inabakisha tu. Sawa, sawa.
We'll show you.
Hata kama ni hapo kingine.
There is methods of where you have to go that only going straight is not the only thing that you have to do. And he'll show you is that if you have really, really hard pans and you continuously use those same lines, now this is over some time of some seasons and after season, is that these chisels are going in those same lines, then it starts to create what's known as mini hard pans. So in that case, we then do a line going this way, and he'll show you an example once we start this getting up and running. You do a line this way, and then you do another line going diagonal. So then it starts to break up those mini hard pans. Now, if you're doing this thing in the beginning, you want to just go in the one straight. But if you continually put these tines one season after the other, second year, third year, fourth year, then those lines that are in between that are not getting from these tines become their mini hard pans. So then you have to then switch the direction. And then you start back again the next season, going back straight again. So that's something that as time goes on, they develop, and then you need to go sideways.
So for this one, there is no soil, it doesn't impact the soil.
Right. And that's why we're trying to get away from a disc, because there's layers of your soil. You have your topsoil and you have your subsoil. Now, when you're using a disc plow, that's turning that subsoil onto the topsoil. So all those microorganisms that feel really comfortable living underneath the soil now are coming to the top. They're getting exposed by the sun and they're dying. So that's not going to be from maybe the first time that you use the disc plow, maybe the second. But if you continuously use a disc plow, then you're going to continuously be killing more and more of those organisms. So this is not something that I'm saying that if you've used a disc plow in your farm, that your farm is dead. I'm saying that you have to start making those steps to allow your soil to start to regenerate. But if you're continuing to use disc plow, your soil is only going to continue to go down. Now, there is certain occasions, you know, if you've left a land idle and you have very, very tough grasses in there, even ourselves as fresh crop, we use a shallow disc, meaning that we don't go very, very deep. We bring it up a bit, just scrape off that top to be able to make sure we can kill all those grasses before we come in with a chisel plow. But essentially what it is our moisture, helps to retain some moisture in our soil, helps to keep our organisms healthy in our soil. Those are the big things that are going to be our benefit of using our chisel plow. Any questions? So what's that one for in the back? Anyone know?
A question, do you use this one for when cultivating a patch in land?
You can, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll go through with a herbicide, and we'll spray that beforehand, allow some of that soil to break up. Then, if needed, we'll come through with a shallow disc to be able to turn over some of that grass to kill it more. Then we'll come through with this. If it's a land that's not very heavily infested with grasses, then we'll come after our herbicide. We'll come directly to this. What's that one in the back there before? The roller. Any clogs that may come up, it helps to break them up in there. What does also that help us to do? Does this thing automatically know how deep it has to go? Or are we the ones that are supposed to tell it how deep it's supposed to go?
It's
Yeah.
the one that turns.
Yeah, this one can determine your depth.
This one.
Yeah.
Control the depth.
Yes. So this one, if you want to go deeper, you lift that up higher, then this will allow your tractor to go down, to let these tines to go down further. So you see how there's different levels on that side? And you'll see it. It's not all of your depth control looks exactly like this. On our other chisel that we have up there, it's a different type of roller, and it has a different way that it'll control your depths. So that one is important. That you want to know what the depth of your hard pan. Then you want to put that at the depth to make sure that you're getting down into that hard pan. Any other questions? Before we start letting this thing go and we can walk along and see how it's doing?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the recommended depth?
You want to have at least 6 inches of loosened soil to be able to have good ridges for your potatoes.
So, question: does this one not compact the plowed land once again?
There is some compaction, and that's a really good thing to bring up. And you really want to be careful of how many times you go through your soil. And like a lot of people think that I can just send my harrow through there as many times as I can, to be able to break up that soil. But in fact, you're making that land harder. So this will create a little bit of that, but as you can see, when we're going around, it's actually loosening it up. As long as you're not going back over that land again too much, then it's not going to cause too much compaction. But when
How do you do it when you're doing preparation for?
So you'll just go through there once, then you turn around, go through again, so you're not going on the same land that you've already gone on before. Because that's one of the things that as you get a little bit more technical in farming is that you want to try and limit the amount of time that those tractors spend in your field. Like all those casual laborers, like that's one of the benefits of a tractor is that you can just go through it one time, and then versus casual laborers who are continuously coming and trampling down, that causes also compaction. All right, we want to see this thing running?
Yes.
Okay.